forget how often we are to be educated, especially because so much of the stress that we face as students comes from school. Maybe because we've been educated our whole lives, we don't realize what effect it's had on our lives. Some kids aren't so lucky. According to the World Bank, there are currently 120 million children out of school. Since progress has stagnated in getting more kids into school, the world missed its Millennium Development Goal of getting universal primary education by 2015. Today, I want to focus on a specific subset of these children, girls. I want to focus on girls today because compared to their male counterparts, they are disproportionately uneducated. Although girls make up to 55% of the world's unpopulated children, in different parts of the world, especially in the developing world, this ratio is much different from area to area. According to the World Bank, in Yemen, for every 100 boys out of school, there are 270 girls out of school. In India, this ratio is 100 to 426. So why does this happen? It's because girls face many more obstacles than boys. These obstacles range from cultural norms to economic problems to environmental issues, and these things are all interconnected. So let's take a theoretical situation. Mary and John. Mary and John are two children of a poor family. Because of how expensive school is, their parents can only send one of them to school. They're more likely to send John because Mary, who is not as superior as her brother, is only going to grow up to be a housewife. And even if Mary did go to school, she is more likely to have to stay at home should something need to be done. In some countries, Mary would have been married off young and would have given birth within the year. Problems facing these girls also stem from the schools themselves. Many of these schools are too far away. For example, kids in South Africa have to walk up to 10 miles in order to get to school. This forces them to compress what should be a 24-hour day into something much smaller. Because they have to do this compressing, it affects their health. And when their health is affected, they can't learn well. The schools are also not a healthy environment for girls to learn in. For example, there aren't many clean private restrooms for them to use. And there also aren't many women educators that girls can turn to for support at school. These schools are also negative learning environments. Girls face violent threats of exploitation or physical abuse. There are also attacks targeted on these locations that teach females by extremist groups. So why does it matter that a woman gets educated? A woman's education not only benefits herself, but it benefits her country. Studies show that a woman who is educated is less likely to be married off young, which means that she is less likely to die in childbirth. Studies also show that women will give birth to fewer and healthier kids. They are also less likely to be sexually abused, which lessens their risk of contracting diseases like HIV or AIDS. A woman's education also helps out her family. Studies show that educated women are more likely to get proper medical care for their families, such as immunization, proper nutrition, and proper sanitation. Studies also show that the education that women receive give them information and skills that lead to increased earning power. When a woman returns for another year of secondary education, her wages increase up to 25% later in life. So, with women bringing in more money, the families are better off financially. And with financially stable families, the country becomes financially stable. And so, theoretically, when families are thriving, and the country is thriving, the whole world is thriving. So, as an outsider, what can you do to help? The best thing to do is to donate. Even $13 can make a difference in the life of a girl. Let's take the story of Manyu as an example. Manyu was a 13-year-old girl living in the Dabie Mountains, located in central China. Her parents were very ill, and the school fee of $13 was really expensive. So they pulled Manyu out. This was particularly a tragedy because Manyu was the star pupil of her class. After journalists Nicholas Kristof and Cheryl Houdin reported her story in the New York Times, readers were moved, many of them donating $13 checks and even $100. Because of this money, Manyu could go back to school. Her school was able to provide scholarships for more girls to come. They were also able to build another school. Later on in life, Manyu became an accountant and was able to provide her family with a house with running water and electricity, things that they didn't have before. So because of these readers, not only was Manyu's life changed, but her family's life was changed and her community's life was changed. Let's take another example. Let's look at Talent, a medical doctor from Zimbabwe. When Talent was 10, she was sent to live with her aunt after her mother had to go look for work. Keeping Talent in school was a struggle because of how expensive school was. So finally, her aunt told her that she couldn't go to school anymore. Luckily, the Campaign for Female Education stepped in and funded her education. Now Talent is a medical doctor, working in an area with very few doctors to provide vital care. Because of her education, she is saving numerous lives. These stories come to show us that when a girl is educated, there's almost like a positive ripple effect happening on her community. In Manyu's case, not only did she succeed, but more girls in her community were able to be educated, and her family's life was improved. And in Talent's case, more lives were able to be saved. So even if you can't donate, even just spreading the word is good enough. That comes to show us that when you invest in a girl, you invest in the future. Thank you.